Staying with what's alive, the quiet skill underneath every other tool decision you'll make in this course. This is where good coaching quietly goes wrong. Not in the big mistakes, not in the obvious lapses, but in the small, well intentioned reach for structure when the client needed you to simply stay. We've talked about overtooling. This video is about the specific skill that makes it possible to hold your ground in those moments, and why that holding is an active, deliberate act, not a passive one. What does it mean to track what's alive? It means your attention is on the client's present emotion, energy, and emerging meaning, not on your agenda or your toolkit. Where is the charge in their body right now? What are they leaning toward? And what are they backing away from? What's forming at the edge of what they've been able to say? That tracking, moment by moment, fluid, is what tells you whether a tool belongs next. It's the input to every move in the 5-move sequence. Without it, you're guessing. Picture a client who's just said something charged, something that landed differently than they expected, something with weight. One coach reaches for a reflection tool, a values card sort, a scaling question, a worksheet. Structure arrives, the client engages with it. The charge moment gets organized, and then in the organizing, it settles. Maybe that was right. Maybe the structure was exactly what they needed. The other coach stays, asks one question, holds the silence after. The client keeps following the thread. Something that wasn't formed gets space to form. The slide shows both responses and notes. Both can be the right move. The difference is which one was a deliberate decision and which one was a reach. Staying present is an active choice. A lot of coaches here be present and experience it as an absence of a plan, just going with whatever comes up. That's not what we're talking about. Staying is a choice to track the client's meaning rather than your agenda, and to let that tracking decide what comes next. Your attention has to be somewhere. Intentional presence means your attention is on the client, not on the next tool you might offer. Here's where this connects back to the whole framework. You read the moment from presence. You name the purpose from presence. You match the tool from presence. You chain the sequence from presence. Without that grounded attention on what's actually happening with this client right now, the 5 moves become mechanical. Technique applied to a situation rather than judgment meeting a person. ICF's Competency 5 maintains presence, and Competency 6 listens actively. These aren't background conditions. They're what makes the sequence work. There's a version of presence that's actually avoidance. It sounds like, I don't have a tool ready for this, so I'll just be present. That's not presence. That's uncertainty wearing presence as a disguise. How do you tell the difference? Check where your attention is. If you're thinking about your toolkit, scanning for what to offer, worrying about whether you have the right intervention, your attention is on yourself. Presence means your attention is genuinely on the client. You're with them, not managing what to do next. What you're carrying into Module 2 is this: staying with what's alive is a choice, and it requires a skill. Presence doesn't mean patience and good intentions. It means having enough awareness of the client's energy and meaning to know what's forming and what it needs from you. And that awareness, the ability to read the moment accurately, is something you can develop deliberately. Staying with what's alive only works if you can read what's alive. So that's where we go next. The engagement arc and how to locate exactly where your client is before you ever decide whether a tool belongs.